Welcome to this look at a new map on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. Honey, I'm home, and it feels like it. The Valley of the Old Farm is back. This is the map by BlackSheep Modding. We had it on FS17. It has been converted over. I know this has been eagerly anticipated by quite a few people. This will use 165.42 megabytes. BlackSheep Modding have worked a bit of magic on this. We'll get all the stats and facts and figures out the way first. If we go into this menu here is the map. This may be familiar to you if you've been playing the franchise a while. If you're new to it, this is all going to be new. The map here has had a complete overhaul and it all looks very crisp and clean and detailed. There have been a load of things added. Some things have stayed the same, which is nice. There's that familiarity, but enough of a change to make it a fresh map, and I like that. That's a nice alternative. If you start on New Farmer, which I do all my map tours on, it will use 484. Not the first bit, 484 of 1299 slots, which is brilliant for the size of map, the size of detail, the amount of detail. 484. If you come on Farm Manager or start from scratch, that drops down to 379 out of 1299 slots. But you don't start with anything. If you come on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you have no vehicles, no buildings, nothing at all, no land. You have the money you start with, but that's it. So on New Farmer, what do we start with? Well, you start with all of this. So we've got the main farm down here, all the roads, the river bits and that kind of thing, but you also start with the biogas plant. So on New Farmer, that's all done and dusted. If you want to buy this, so if you come on this on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you'll obviously have to buy that. That will cost you 471,592, which will give you access to all of that land if you want to place bits and bobs. And that. I mean, placing in rivers and on roads is often a little bit, fraught with danger and peril. But the farm is separate. That's 599,097 on its own. So like I say, if you come on Farm Manager or start from scratch, you'll have to buy that, and if you want the biogas plant, you have to buy the whole thing all the way around. So you're looking at, knocking on $1 million. Well, over $1 million to get both of those off the bat. But we're not on that. We're on New Farmer, so we're lucky we've got all this stuff. We're going to do, I'm not quite sure what route we're going to do around this. I was going to do a clockwise route round, but there's so much to see and do, and this is all new down here. We're going to whiz down and have a look at that. But we are going to start off in the yard, and what I'll do is if I jump any bits, I'll tell you where I am, the direction I'm heading, and when we get there I'll show you where we are. So, we do start with field 62. I think that was it, isn't it? We don't own any other fields off the start. No, just field 62. Field prices, not bad. I mean, to be fair, another thing I do like about this is we've got some that are batched. I think we've got some that are on their own. Although that does take in a big chunk of the forest as well. But then 54 and all that forest for 172 grand. That's no brainer. Now this is going to be a little bit trickier for me, because as we go round, this map is going to look considerably different to how I left my Let's Play on FS17, because I did a huge amount of forestry. I also changed loads of the fields, combined fields. I put in road like tracks, and so. Yeah, this is going to be something completely different. I can already tell, straight off the bat, it looks crisper, cleaner. I mean, textures and the water and those kind of things. These are all things that came with FS19. Let's go into the yard and have a look, shall we? We do have shelter and barn storage around the side there. Gates into the main yard. This was always a really nice draw on this map, was the hayloft up the top there. Now this bit here, this rail that we're going to have a look at in a little while, that came as an update later on this map, but that's a nice feature and we'll have a look at that in a second as well. Oh, one thing I will say though, I've seen that every now and again on mods, the textures in buildings and barns, that doesn't look so great, does it? That can be a conversion over to console. Oh, that does look looks a bit grim, doesn't it? When you look at the texture out here and how neat and tidy everything is, then look into there. Possibly an update on the cards. You often get a lot of the maps, you get updates come out straight away. Our chickens are just here, kind of where they were, but again, it's changed. It doesn't look the same as it did. Whilst they are in the same position, things look different. And the changes are nice. Slightly different colours and texture palette, I think, is well used. Down here originally we had, on the previous version, seed refill and that kind of stuff. Now we do have some hazard mark boxes here, so potentially it still is, but unless that's a remnant left over. But in here we had a fuel tank. I'm sure it was fuel, or was it fertiliser? But those are empty now. That does have a hazard box, but again that could be a remnant. Not sure, but again the floor texture on there not looking so great. But we do have a workshop trigger here, and we do, considering how low the slot count is, we do start off with the John Deere and some other equipment as well. We'll have a look at too. We'll grab the John Deere for the drive out in a minute. Like I say, if you're new to this, one of the things I loved about this when it first came out, and I love about it now, is the kind of sweep up of the yard, that kind of hayloft thing as well, which I think is brilliant, and the sweep up underneath. The silo is here with your put into the silo and take out of the silo just there, and then the sort of courtyard is split level, more barn space here, and your bunker silos tucked around to the sides here, and there are some nice features and touches with those as well we'll have a look at in a second. The farmhouse itself used to be able to go inside, so that does open. You can put stuff in there, but the pickup's in the way at the moment. Actually, I might use the pickup rather than the John Deere. I'm noticing we seem to have the same sound for all the doors and everything at the moment. Just again, something to point out. Yeah, this feels different in here as well. Looks like someone's been spring cleaning. Hoover's out. Flip-flops on a farm? That's got to be some kind of health and safety risk there, surely. This goes out to the back garden. It's a lovely little back garden out here. Sounds very slow, but just at the back. We'll come around the back of here in a moment. It's very nice. Right, let's go through. So, out of the farmhouse. That is your sleep through the night trigger, actually. Point out, sorry. L3. I'm not tired at the moment, but that's where it is. While we're on the subject of sleeping through the night, let's look at what we start with. We start with the Fendt 511C, the John Deere 6135M, a Bison pickup, small Troutman trailer, header for the Bison, rail cultivator, and a seeder. And that's it. That's all you start with. Nothing else at all. Makes life a little bit easier. There's not so much to scroll through, is there? So if we go up here, up this ramp here, we do have a cow barn there. That's fixed in place. That's your cows. If we come round here and over the top, the hayloft is where it was, if you remember that, but if you're new, this is the hayloft. One thing I do miss, I just suddenly remembered, was we had the conveyor belt that did bales, didn't we? If you remember on FS17, because I remember doing an episode where I was putting bales up onto the hayloft. But anyway, this here, if we do that, circle, you can put those down. So if you are loading and unloading bales off of here and you want that out of the way, you can just do that. Same round here as well. There's one there and there's one there which does the rail here. And that one does the rail a little bit further on there. So you've got your hayloft, plenty of space up here, or you can just put vehicles up here, it's entirely up to you. As long as they can fit through here, you'll be absolutely fine. Bunker silos around to the left. It's a little bit more storage space there, but these are interesting as well. This is the first time I saw a bunker silo like this. Was on here. I press circle here. It's the same sound effect again. But you can back up and tip into your bunker silo from the rear here if you want to, which is a nice feature. I don't know, I'm a little bit. Some of the textures look fantastic. Some of them look a little bit blurry, a little bit blocky. So your cow field is just here, and there's a lovely little tunnel that goes under the bridge there, so your animals can go under and into the pasture the other side, which is a really nice feature. Tons and tons of forestry on this map, no shortage of forestry. Sides open the cow barn. You've got your usual triggers on here. As for custom crops, are there any? There aren't. Are there contracts available? There are. Are there any mods? Because a lot of map makers will put their own mods in place. There aren't. These are static. The cow barn, cow shed and the sheep pen building, which is here, they're static. You can't remove those. You can't sell them. They're in place. And there is one mod, which I'm going to show you in a little while. Other than that, it's the standard giant stuff. This all looks a lot more overgrown, but again, I'm thinking the end of my Let's Play on FS17 I had shelters in place and I'd done a bit of kind of work around the yard. I had a silo here as well, big silo, and I'd cut loads of trees back and blended fields, and it's difficult to picture what it was originally, but yeah, very nice. Plenty of open space. Something else to point out, bit of barn space there. Actually, let's go and look at the sheep thing. This has changed massively. This was an open fronted sheep pen. The actual sheep pasture itself is pretty much the same down there, with a feed trough. Was that the water trough? It might be the water trough down the bottom there. This was all open before, so this has changed completely. Had a bit of an upgrade, new build. Well, new build, that's quite old, but so this is for your sheep. I would imagine the wall pallets are going to spawn there. But yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. This again, I think, was this part of an update? Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant whether it was an update or not. Over here, we have got certain fields around the map, and I think they're pretty much all grass fields. They're all pastures, meadows, and they're the ones where it's actually a field, so you can fertilise the grass to get better yield. But you do have these here as well. So if I do that, you can remove the fences from around them. So if you're finding them awkward in the way, or you just want to be able to blend through or do something like that, you can actually take the fences away. And there are a few of these dotted around the map, so you can put them on and off if you want to. Lovely sweeping terrain, lots of undulations. You can tick that off your MrSealyp bingo if you're playing at the moment. So nice undulations. That's the main farmyard. That's the main farm with your cows and your sheep. I'm going to whiz out because I'm not sure about the pig situation. I don't think there's a pig pen placed. On the previous version of this map there was the pig pen, but we can whiz out and have a look at that. We'll grab the pickup because it'll be quicker to get around in this than the tractor. So what we'll do, we'll head out of the yard. I'm very conscious we've got a lot to get round. I apologise if I rattled through all of that, but you already can get a feel for the yard, and we'll head out this way. I want to head down to the southeast corner. Yeah, see, this is the cow, kind of part of the cow pasture as well, so they can come out through here, under the road here, under this little bit there, and out onto there. I always like that. I thought it was fantastic. We'll take a quick whiz up the middle here, and then we'll go back round. I'll show you why. Now, there used to be an incredibly steep dip here that some vehicles really struggle with. It's still here. Glad to see. I think at the end of here, the meadow on the left hand side there, there's probably, if it's still where it was originally, yeah, another one of those little fence operation posts just there, so you can turn that fence on and off as well. Loads of tracks through the forest, and like I say, if you like your forestry, you are not going to be disappointed. There is loads to do on here. So on the left coming up is where the pig farm used to be. It looks like we've got buildings here, but I don't think the pig enclosure is... Oh, okay. I'm not sure then, that's weird. There's nothing coming up on there, but it's possible you have to own it before that will show up. That could be why. The pig enclosure, the pig farm is here. All the triggers and stuff are there. but I would imagine it's not showing up on the map because you don't own it. So let's have a quick look on the map. We are currently here. What does that cost? So you get 93, 56 and that for 394,000. So yeah, I would assume, it is an assumption, but I would imagine because all the stuff's here, the triggers and stuff are all there, that you've got to buy it. Once you own the land, I would think the the symbol comes up on the map for the pigs, I would think. Now on FS17 we didn't have horses, so I haven't come across a horse stable or anything yet. Potentially there's one knocking about, but I haven't come across it. So what we're going to do now, let's go back out to the map. From where we are here, I'm going to head down. Now one thing I have noticed already by looking at the map, we've got a load of roads have been added in that didn't exist originally. In and around the town, which we'll get to later on, there's some extra roads put in. And up and around here, we've got these roads. That was a track before, not a road. So we've got a road there. That's new. That road there. That's new. Which we're going to have a look at. And we've got a couple of sell points that have moved and some that are new. There's dairy shop. That wasn't there before, not in that position anyway. The Kraybacher Müller, the mill, that was a garden centre originally, but again we'll have a look at that. Biogas plant, that was where it was. AgriLife, yeah, we'll have a look. But yeah, what I want to do is head down from where we are, there, down here, out here. I'm going to go down here to the southwest corner to check out the spinnery and L'Art du Pain, which will be a bakery type building, I would imagine. So let's go. I seem to recall, I think when I did the first map tour on this in FS17, what I loved about this map, and still do, I think it's brilliant, with the kind of different zones to it. You had this bit with big, long, sweeping hills, very open countryside. And then as you moved up towards the town, it gets more heavily forested. You've got more fenced-in fields. You've got the river running across the top section. So you have very kind of delineated parts to the map, which kind of gives something for everyone. You've got nice, big, open fields. You can move big machinery around, no problem at all, because the roads are nice and open. You haven't got fences and hedges in the way. But that does change the further north on the map you go. So you do have a lot of difference to it, which is, again, it's a nice feature of the map. I'm glad to see that hasn't changed. So I'm just hoping I can get around all this in an hour. I don't really want it to be an hour long, but if it takes an hour to get around it, so be it. There's things that, whoa, this is all new. Okay, so we've had some new builds. Little town off in the distance there, I don't remember that either. Seen those kind of things a lot now. So, some new housing. What have we got down here? Little cafe, very nice. La Brasserie de la Place. Very nice. New road going off down there, round in a loop. And this is the spinnery, isn't it? This was the spinnery, yep. Wow. Very different. I'm sure the boat will come in handy at high tide. Wow. I like the change in terrain as well. They could have just left it flat and just had all this, but it's those little details, those little things that I think do make a map, you know. You can have things that look quite ordinary. Oh, that's a nice little one, that. See, now my my storytelling brain is kicking into gear thinking, whoa, the things you could use that for. If you were doing a narrative let's play kind of thing. Like it. Wow, this is really nice. So this was L'Art du Pain, wasn't it? Oh, here we go, just on the left there. L'Art du Pain. Says so on the front of the building. Boulangerie, pâtisserie, viennoiserie, Sandwichery de fabrication. That's it. Oh, very artisan bakery. Very nice. Right. So we're going to go up the western side of the map now. This might be a bit of a drive, and again, I might go quiet, I might speed it up, I might skip it. I'm not too sure, but on the left coming up, there used to be a set of buildings, and there was a kind of placeables area. It looks like the buildings have been bulldozed. It's just a big old placeable area now on the left-hand side. Wow, it really does feel different. It's like I said before, it's strangely familiar. Not strangely, it is familiar because the amount of time I spent on it. But there are so many bits as I'm driving around thinking, wow, I don't remember it being like that. So yeah, enough has changed. So that seems a bit more open. I think there were more houses up against the road along here. I'm surprised about the edge. That seems very blurry. I don't remember on the previous version it being blurry around the edges like that. This all seems a lot more open. I don't know if they've removed, whether there's trees removed or things on the horizon potentially that have moved. That could be what it is. It could be that the horizon has changed. If they've changed the map edge, that through there I think is the back of the sawmill, which we'll get to later on, but this all sweeps around. Right, I'll see you up in the village in a minute, or the town. Yeah, I remember doing contracts on this field here, how steep it was. That was a fun one to do stuff on. Right, what else have we got that's different? I can already see the road layout's changed here. So we're coming up on... This was the dairy one. Yeah, wow. Okay, so come up here, we've got a dairy sale point. Dairy shop. That goes out onto the main road as well. Actually, we'll go through there, we'll cut through that bit. Out onto the road here. Because we've got a sale point up the road. So that was the dairy shop. And then we'll go up towards the biogas plant. Which is just on our left. Well, there's an entrance and an exit to the biogas plant. This does seem, it really is, wow, look at all these new builds, all these, like I say, depends who you are and who's watching, but this is all new. But little estate here, that never used to be there before. Very cool. This looks like the layout of all this is different too. Two big bunker silos here, digestate tank at the front here, which if I recall correctly used to be right down the back. So that's your digestate tank. So your byproducts of putting whatever you put in through the biogas plant. Your digester is just here. Two more bunker silos here. And now this is a kind of loop round thing. I think you used to just be able to get straight out there. Now that's interesting. Is that a slurry? Is that just there for show, or is that a slurry sell point? It's not shown as a sell point on the map or anything, but maybe it's just an overflow tank for the digestate tanks, I guess. Right. And then up to the northeast sell point, which is, I can't remember the name of it. Agri something or other. We'll have a look. Agri Life, there we go. So Agri Life, just up here. Sell point around the front there. Got some big old bunkers around the back here. Apologies if I miss anything out. There is a lot of potential for that on any map tour, because obviously as you're going around and kind of taking it all in, with hours and hours of gameplay on a map comes all the, you know, the finds and all the, you know, the little nuances that you may well miss on the first map tour. I try to be as thorough as I can, but sometimes you might get sell points or buy points or your trigger here and there that you just don't notice when you go around. But it's more about you getting a feel for the map and what it looks like. Now the road does carry on around there, and goes right the way around off the top of the map. So what we'll do is come back to the map. Now we've come all the way up here, all the way up, and we came in through the dairy shop there, but then back out onto the road. So we've come up the top here to the biogas plant. We've come out onto the road and done agro life. Now this road does carry on all the way around the top there. Now that used to come down and back out here. This bit, like I say, that's an addition, but we'll get to that in a bit. What we're going to do now is go down into the town, check out the sell points through the town. I'm trying to think. How am I going to? I might have to whiz down to there as well. To the sawmill, because I want to try and take it all in if I can. Like I say, there may be bits of the journey that gets chopped out when I actually get to editing and realise that I'm way over time. So, okay, so coming back out here, we've got fuel station on the right hand side, just over there. On the left, Kraybacker Müller, one of the other sell points. Like I say, this, I'm sure this started off as a garden centre originally. Now be careful, because there's lots of bales there. I don't think this takes wool, because obviously that's what the spinnery's for. But I'll check just in case. Kraybacker Müller, let's go across to our wool. No, the spinnery does. I think just having those pallets over there, if you're not sure, that might confuse you a little bit. But yeah, the spinnery is definitely down the southwest corner. Right, so we come out of here, past the church. Fond memories. We've got a little road here. That never used to... Hang on a minute. This is the road we used to come out of. No, the next one over was. This is new. Little side turning around the back. Wow. Little benches so you can look out over the countryside. That's very nice. I'm liking the additions. I'm liking the changes. Okay, so back out. We'll go down that turn. Oh, we'll go down that turning now. We'll go to the store in a minute. Ah, that's interesting. That curb's quite high. Be careful of that. There's a little turn to the left there, which brings you back round and out onto the road. But on the right here, and I think this was also an addition late on the map originally, but this is Mother Earth. This is potato and sugar beet sell point, which looks like it's had a bit of an overhaul too. Nice, neat and tidy. And we'll carry on. One thing I always liked about this map, this all looks more open as well. It looks like we've had some buildings demolished and new houses built. I see tractors dotted around. Was the rivers. I thought the rivers on here and the detailing around them was always very picturesque. It was a lovely kind of look and feel to this. So coming through here, yeah, these buildings are all new too. There were some barns. Oh no, there was. Didn't look like that though. There was a building there, right? So sawmill. This looks a lot more overgrown than I recall too, which is nice. But again, I did clear a load and make new fields and stuff like that, so potentially there's an element of that to it. So here's your sawmill. Down by the river. Lumber sell point just there. Wood chips, I'm assuming, is up around the back. There we go. Wood chip sell point up around the back here. There used to be a little bridge across the river. I don't know if that's still there. Where does that go around the back? Oh, it goes up into the woodland. Now I don't know if any kind of Easter egg type stuff's been thrown in. I don't know how much the woodland terrain has changed. There might be stuff in and amongst there, but there are so many tracks and roads going through the woodland. Is the bridge gone? Oh no, hang on. Is it through there? There used to be a little rickety bridge that went across to the fields. No, it looks like it's gone. The bridge has been removed. Oh, okay. Well, there we go. Worth a look, because I thought if I missed that, bridge is no longer there. Right, off to the store now. So back out from the sawmill. Head north again, back up the road we just came along. I mean, you see what I was saying at the very start about the detail of the map. For the size of the map and the detail of the map, to keep the slot count as low as they have for console, and still maintain all the detail. And I always find maps that have got a lot of trees on. Initially, I know on FS17 I used to get a lot of lag, and it used to be awful. You drive past a forested part of a map and everything would go a bit horrible. The frame rate would start going a bit nasty. That, for the most part, seems to have been alleviated. I don't generally have a problem with that anymore. So we want to go here. Yeah, it's here, isn't it? Right then, left. Out to the store. This looks a lot more open on the right hand side here. There used to be a little park there, I think. That's now a little field. We've got a road and more houses off to the right as well. Wow, the store's changed a lot. Flags out the front. BSM shop now. BlackSheep Modding. Nice big open space for the store. Easy to get stuff in and out. Your repair, sell, customise point is just there. This seems a lot bigger too, which is nice when you're buying big machinery and stuff. I find sometimes on maps when you get the shop, and I was only talking about this today when I was recording my my next Greenwich Valley video, that the store on that has got a really very, very small access point, and it's quite difficult to get big machinery in and out of there, whereas this, no problem at all, plenty of room to get in and out. So off the left here, this is new. There used to be a little footpath that went down here, but this is pretty cool. Whoa, more build stuff, more potential for storylines, like it a lot. I like the wet sand in the bottom of there as well. Because this was one of the first maps I remember, especially on console for me, that had like a building site bit on it, and that was further along. I always like, you can use oats or barley, depends on the soil colour. You can use oats now, you never used to, but oats, barley, those kind of things, you can put them in the ground. I know they're a crop, but to make it look like dirt, and then you can kind of shovel it out with excavators and stuff like that. It's just a nice addition to do as part of a storyline and that kind of thing. Wow, this has changed a huge amount. Livestock Market is just on the left hand side. I'm going to check the map again in a minute, just so you know where we are. So, we were here in the town. We came through and did the Crayback and Mueller, the fuel station we saw, and then we came down to Mother Earth, and then we came all the way down here to the Sawmill. We've come all the way back up again, and we've gone up to the shop. We've now gone along this little road here, and all these little side roads, like I say, this is all new. And we're just outside the animal dealer there. There's also a sell point back along here, Commerce de Besto. That's just in there as well. I'm interested to see about this road here, because like I say, I'm sure that was just a track before. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to whiz up this way and check out this new bit of road. Won't go all the way around it, but hopefully it'll bring back. Yeah, look at these new houses. Look, wow. This all feels so different. So I'm sure there were tracks around here before, but I don't remember them being metal roads like this. You can see what I meant about the train though as well. How the fields are a little bit smaller at this top end of the map. It all seems a little bit tighter in. They're still not, you haven't got loads of fences and hedges to contend with, but you have got a few more trees around the fields. A bit more tightly packed up around the town itself. But right, so if we come around here, under the bridge, this is what I was talking about, the mod. The modded thing that they've got in here. If we follow along the side of the river here, and come down here, we've got a pasture, a cow pasture. Nice big flat open space next to it as well, so if you want to put some other stuff in. But that's nice, I like that as a feature. You could take your cows from the main farm, bring them out here during the summer to be out in the pasture. You've got your point there, but again, that's not working because I don't own it. I think, how much is it to own this? 120,000 to have that bit of land with the pasture on it. Now it's interesting to know that the pasture's showing up, but the pig farm hasn't got a symbol there. Yeah, got a pasture. That's nice. Yeah, this road, this wasn't along here. I'm sure it wasn't. There was just a track before. Very nice indeed. What we'll do is head along this road and come back up the other side. To the last of the sell points we're going to look at. The river runs across there. It kind of goes across the top third of the map. And I think that helps with that feeling of separate kind of elements to it. So we're coming up now on the last of the sell points, which is here. Cooperative, agricole. So this is more the northeast side of the map now. We're not right out of the northeast side, and there's a new road out here as well, which wasn't here before. Plus, there used to be a farm. Looks like the farm's been sold, the land's been sold, and new properties have been built. Wow, look at this. This is so different. Blimey. Plenty of barn space and building space around there as well though. That's nice. Big open placeable area as well. Yeah, this road up here, this wasn't here before. Fantastic. I mean that's it. That's the map. That's all the sell points. That's all the stuff. Kind of tried to take in a few of the changes. Yeah, there wasn't water around the edge here. That's different. I think it might have just been trees around the border, you know. I don't know which I prefer actually. From a distance that doesn't look so bad, especially with the little towns and stuff off in the distance. I would imagine at night they light up too, which is nice. But you don't know. Just my own personal opinion. It just looks a little bit blurry. I don't know if that's just me. But anyway, another one of those little posts there for taking the fencing out if you want to do so. And now we're coming down the eastern side of the map, across the bridge, and then kind of heading back towards the main farm really. But that's it. That's the Valley of the Old Farm. Yeah, I think, like I've said a couple of times now, apologise for repeating myself, but enough has changed, enough is different, and you know that it feels fresh. It feels like an update. Do I feel like there might be another update on the cards for this? Potentially. I just think there's a few texture issues maybe here and there that might need a bit of a tweak, but you know, I'm no map maker, I couldn't do this, but you know, those things are things you can see as I go around. That's new. You can see them, you know, it's not something that can be hidden, it's all kind of clear, but texturing's great. I like the fact that the biogas plant's already kind of purchased if you come onto this on New Farmer. Very nice indeed. The Valley of the Old Farm by BlackSheep Modding. I hope you found this helpful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.